So, my question is addressed to you both as a foremost philosopher of nuclear energy, as also a shaper of mankind. I mean, my generation sees you as a new Einstein. That's why I ask you this question. So, what do you think, in the context of countries like India, is the future of the thorium cycle, of which we have plenty? Which way do we go from here? And the second question which I ask you in the context of the present crisis which is just happening in Japan, you know that light water reactors with single cycle cleaning systems were possibly the cause of tragedy that happened. We do have, like my friend Manoj Joshi mentioned earlier in the evening, newer technologies which can replace, these are molten metal technologies. Sir, we need your guidance on these issues, and I wish if you could elaborate in presence of possibly the most august audience in India present here tonight. Thank you, sir.
But because I have the most august audience in India, I will decline to comment on that. Other than to tell you, at the end of the day, I'm a lawyer, so I will not really give you a definitive answer. I can tell you on the thorium that, of course, you know, people in Mumbai and the Atomic Energy Commission are very optimistic about the thorium fuel cycle. And if you have a lot of thorium, you do not have to depend on import of uranium. So there is a lot of work going on, and I think it's work in the right direction. I mean, that's you make use of your domestic, you know, supply of raw material. On the light water reactor, and you know, you have to have, as I said, you have to have a complete overhaul. I mean, I should mention also that review of safety should not be limited to civilian power reactors.
Yes.
It should also include military reactors. They are off limit everywhere in the 9 weapon states. And you know, if you have an accident, it doesn't make a difference whether it's a civil or a military reactor. And we should find a way to have a peer review of all reactors, whether it's civilian or power or military reactors.
The peer review, would you recommend that Dr. Manmohan Singh call a peer review of, say, 15, 20 nations?
I would think so. I would recommend that.
Egypt is being seen as a role model for revolutions that are bringing about change in the Middle East. And I was wondering, why isn't Egypt sending any troops to Libya to help them with their liberation movement, even if it's small and it's symbolic?
It's a good question. However, you know, again, I wear my hat as a lawyer. You probably can send that through authorization by the Security Council. You do not want to send troops unilaterally. I mean, you do not want to repeat Mr. Bush, adventure into Iraq. There are rules of going into different countries. I still believe that Security Council should authorize, countries to send troops to Libya as part of the responsibility to protect, call it peacekeeping, call it whatever, but we need to protect civilians. And it's not just Egypt. I mean, again, I do not subscribe to the issue because it's your neighbor, you have your security interests at stake. Our security, look, for example, at Afghanistan. Everybody and his brother is in Afghanistan because the West believe that Afghanistan directly impact on their national security. But you haven't seen one single Westerner in Darfur, for example, or in Congo, because they don't want their kids to die there. So the question is, do you want a global security system based on Eurocentric or direct national security interests, or based on human solidarity, as I would subscribe to? And if it is based on human solidarity, that every one of us is responsible for what's happening in Libya, in Yemen, in anywhere when innocent civilians are being slaughtered for yearning for freedom.
GK just sent a note. He wanted to ask a question.
Oh, thank you very much, MJ. Sir, congratulations to you and welcome to India. And I must say you're a star of this evening. it's a peaceful revolution, even though you lost 400 people. Our condolences go to those who lost their life. My question to you is based on our learning in our days of our school days. We knew Nile, we knew Suez Canal, we knew Pyramid, we knew mummies, and we knew Omar Sharif. So my congratulations go to the entire Egyptian people, and I hope that they achieve what they have set themselves to do. My question to you is limited to the US involvement in two parts of that part of the world. Egypt got its independence in 10 days. It managed to get Hosni Mubarak out. Whereas Libya did exactly the reverse. Do you believe that Libya's change in what happened in Libya would affect Egypt's chances of staying where it is?
I don't think so. I think the power in Libya right now, I mean, Libya has always looked at Egypt as a model, and I think that, you know, that, see, the problem that we don't really have a functional global security system, you know, and you have a Security Council that in many cases impotent to deal with security threats. And your definition with security is sometimes very blinkered. And if it doesn't impact you directly, you can continue to make statements and issue resolutions. And today I was told they issued a no-fly zone, for example, which is a good first step, but that you need to act more. And as I said, you need to probably have troops to go to Libya and ensure that the Libyans who are peacefully calling for their freedom will get their freedom. It is no, you can't talk about human dignity, you can't talk about universal values while you do not walk the walk. You know, you have to walk the walk. If we as an international community, global community as we call ourselves right now, are not doing the walk and just issue empty threats or rhetoric,